Good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Crummell. A Democratic congressman from the Pittsburgh area is headed to the Harrisburg area to blast Republican Congressman Scott Perry over comments he made about Democrats serving in the military. Dennis Owens joins us with this story. And Dennis, such district hopping for bashing is a bit unusual.
Indeed it is, James, unusual. But remember, Democrats see Scott Perry, the 7-term Republican, as vulnerable and beatable in next year's election. So they're going to be aggressive. And what does aggressive mean? Well, Congressman Chris DeLuzio from the aforementioned Pittsburgh area will hold a press conference in Enola later today to denounce Perry. The issue stems from Perry's comments on a conservative radio show last week, in which he seemed to suggest Democrats who serve in the military do it to check a box so they can run for office, not for a true love of country. Listen closely. Here's an excerpt.
And so the pressure's not on, and there wouldn't be any pressure on Democrats anyhow because they hate the military. That's only a credential that they get when they want to run for office. They join the military, they serve a little bit, they get the credential, and then they run for office and wear the uniform and say, look at me, I support America. But let's face it, all their votes say they don't support America.
Several congressional Democrats who served have denounced Perry's comments as disgusting, called on him to apologize. That includes DeLuzio, who is an Annapolis grad and former Navy officer. For his part, Perry, a retired Army brigadier general, said that small snippet was taken out of context from the broader discussion. In a statement, Perry added, first of all, I didn't say all Democrats who served. I was shining a spotlight on the leftists in Congress who serve in the military and use that as a shield to insulate themselves from accountability for their radical and corrosive ideologies. Perry added that Democrats are trying to twist his words and use them as a distraction from the fact that they, in his words, have shut the government down. And James, Congressman DeLuzio is on his way. He will be in Enola about 2:30 this afternoon. We'll report on that in our later newscasts at 5, 6, and 7. You cannot overlook the fact, however, that Democrats view Scott Perry as vulnerable and want to, go on the assault any chance they get.
And, also pointing out, we have heard this time and time again about Scott Perry being vulnerable in this area, and he will go on to win. This is just an example, though. I mean, this campaign doesn't start until next year, but It's already getting underway right now.
So my personal rule is, of the last couple of weeks, I've been telling people I don't like to do stories about next year's election because guess what? We got an election on November 4th coming up, and I don't want people getting confused and muddy in the waters. I would rather wait until after this election until we start talking about next election. But to your point, they see vulnerability and they want to start to soften the ground, as they say in political terms.
Absolutely. All right. You'll be at that press conference?
We will be at that press conference. And as you just said, a Democratic wag in the area says he sees that seat as fool's gold for Democrats. They always think they're going to win, and they always put up candidates, and they're all excited and raise lots of money, and then Scott Perry wins. And Scott Perry clearly has won 7 terms here. He is popular here.
All right, we will, of course, begin and wait and wait and wait and see how this all plays out.
Indeed.
But it is definitely going to be interesting in the next
couple of months. We're always focused on the next election, aren't we? The minute one, and actually, we're
this
the
one
next
hasn't even
election
ended yet.
before this one isn't over yet. All right, James,
Absolutely,
have a good day, man.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Eric Finkenbinder from ABC 27, and we're excited to announce the new ABC 27 News Plus app. Live stream newscasts or watch content on demand. This is different than the ABC 27 app on your smartphone. You can check this out at home, and it's very easy to use. With a Fire Stick, go to the home page, scroll down to search. From there, enter ABC 27. Move over to the apps, and there we are. Click the icon and install. It's just that easy.